Imagine yourself at the age of 80, not 60, not 70, but truly at the threshold of life's final chapters. Your body may not be as strong as before, your mind may take longer to recall memories, and time itself feels heavier. But the question is, will you live these years with wisdom, joy, and peace, or will they be filled with regret and unnecessary suffering? Aging is inevitable, but how we experience it is within our control. It is not just about what we have done in the past, but what we continue to do. More importantly, it is about what we choose to avoid. In this video, we will explore 3 things you should never say, 3 things you should never do, and 3 places you should never go when you grow old. Each of these choices will determine whether you live with contentment or spend your later years weighed down by regret. Stay with me until the end, because these lessons could change how you experience aging forever. And if you find value in this, please like, subscribe, and share so we can continue spreading wisdom and mindfulness together. Part 1, 3 things you should never say. Number 1, I'm too old for that. A limiting belief that holds you back. This simple phrase, I'm too old for that, is one of the most damaging things you can tell yourself. It subtly chips away at your potential, reinforcing the idea that growth, learning, and new experiences are only for the young. But the truth is, it's not your age that limits you. It's the belief that you are incapable of change. Many people assume that aging naturally means decline, but science tells a different story. Research on neuroplasticity has shown that the brain remains adaptable throughout life. This means that no matter how old you are, you can still learn new skills, develop new habits, and improve yourself in countless ways. The key is not whether you can grow, but whether you believe you can. Too often, we internalize societal messages that equate aging with deterioration. When people say things like, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, or that's a young person's game, they reinforce a limiting mindset. The truth is, older adults who stay mentally and physically active continue to develop new neural connections, improve memory, and even increase their overall well-being. Instead of saying, I'm too old for that, try asking yourself, how can I adapt this to suit my abilities? This shift in perspective opens up possibilities rather than shutting them down. History is full of people who defied age-related expectations. Grandma Moses didn't start painting until she was in her late 70s, yet she became one of America's most celebrated folk artists. Harlan Sanders, better known as Colonel Sanders, started KFC in his 60s after many career setbacks. Fauja Singh ran his first marathon at 89 and continued racing well past 100. These stories prove that age is not a barrier. It's an opportunity to redefine what's possible. Of course, aging does bring physical changes. You may not have the same energy levels or physical abilities as you did in your 20s, but that doesn't mean you have to stop doing the things you love. Instead of focusing on what you can't do, focus on how you can adapt. Love running but have joint pain? Try swimming or cycling. Want to learn a new language but struggle with memory? Use spaced repetition techniques and practice daily. Interested in starting a new career or hobby? Find a mentor or online course tailored to lifelong learners. Adaptation is the key to longevity. Your body and mind are designed to adjust. You just have to give yourself permission to explore new ways of doing things. Rather than seeing aging as a period of decline, think of it as a time of refinement. You have more life experience, deeper insights, and greater patience than you did in your younger years. These qualities make you uniquely suited to tackle new challenges with wisdom and perspective. So the next time you catch yourself thinking, I'm too old for that, pause and reframe it. Instead, say, I can find a way to make this work for me. That small shift in mindset could be the key to unlocking a future filled with growth, adventure, and fulfillment. Number 2, I wish I had, the trap of regret. Regret is a heavy burden to carry, especially in old age. It has a way of creeping into quiet moments, whispering reminders of things we never did, words left unspoken, and dreams that were set aside. The weight of I wish I had can be overwhelming, filling the heart with sorrow for roads not taken and opportunities lost. But while reflecting on missed chances is natural, dwelling on them too long can rob the present of its joy. The past cannot be changed, no matter how much we long to rewrite certain chapters of our lives. But what if, instead of carrying the weight of regret, we learn to see our past differently? What if, instead of saying, I wish I had, we shifted our perspective to ask, what can I still do? This subtle change in thinking has the power to transform our lives, allowing us to embrace the present with hope rather than sadness. Every new day is a gift, an opportunity to create, to contribute, and to find purpose. No matter how much time has passed, there is still room for growth, for new experiences, and for making peace with our past. The stories of our lives are not yet finished, and as long as we are here, we have the power to write new chapters. Perhaps there are apologies we never gave, relationships we neglected, or passions we never pursued. But instead of looking back with regret, we can choose to act now. Reach out to an old friend. Express love to those who matter. Take up a hobby we once set aside. The opportunity to live fully is not lost, it is only waiting for us to embrace it. In many ways, regret teaches us valuable lessons. It reminds us of what truly matters. It shows us where our hearts long to go. If we listen closely, we can use our regrets as a guide, not to dwell on what we've lost, but to make the most of what we still have. So rather than allowing regret to weigh us down, let us turn our gaze forward. Life is not measured by what we wish we had done, but by what we choose to do now. The past has shaped us, but it does not have to define us. Today is a new day. What will we do with it? Number 3, it was better in my day. The illusion of nostalgia. Nostalgia is a powerful emotion. It can bring back fond memories of youth, simpler times, and moments that seemed filled with more joy or meaning. The phrase, "it was better in my day," is a common refrain among older generations who look back on the past with a sense of longing and appreciation. However, while nostalgia can be comforting, it can also become a barrier to fully engaging with the present and embracing the opportunities that come with change. Why do people feel this way? As people age, they tend to remember the past in a selective way, focusing on the good and filtering out the difficulties. This psychological phenomenon, known as the reminiscence bump, explains why individuals often recall their youth as being the best period of their lives. Many factors contribute to this feeling. Personal experiences. Younger years are often filled with excitement, new relationships, and personal growth, making them feel more meaningful in hindsight. Simpler times. The past may have seemed less complicated, with fewer technological distractions and a slower pace of life. Struggles with modern changes. The rapid development of technology, shifting social norms, and evolving cultural values can make people feel disconnected from the present. However, the belief that the past was universally better is often a distortion of reality. Every era had its struggles and imperfections, and what may seem like a golden age in memory was also a time of hardship, inequality, and limitations. While nostalgia has benefits, such as fostering social bonds and providing a sense of identity, clinging too tightly to an idealized past can have negative effects. Isolation from society. Rejecting modern developments can make it harder to relate to younger generations, leading to social disconnection. Resistance to progress. Every era brings improvements in science, medicine, human rights, and technology. Romanticizing the past can make people blind to these advancements. Increased frustration and bitterness. Constantly comparing the present to an idealized past can lead to disappointment, frustration, and even resentment toward the world as it is. Instead of rejecting modern changes, individuals can adopt a mindset that honors the past while embracing the present. Here's how. Recognize the value of change. While some aspects of modern life can be overwhelming, many innovations, such as medical advancements, global connectivity, and increased social awareness, improve quality of life. Stay curious. Engaging with new ideas, technologies, and cultural shifts can keep the mind sharp and foster a sense of excitement about the future. Maintain timeless values. Kindness, integrity, and wisdom never go out of style. These can be carried forward without rejecting progress. Connect with younger generations. Instead of feeling alienated, older individuals can share wisdom and learn from younger people, fostering mutual understanding. Find meaning in the present. Every stage of life has its joys and opportunities. By appreciating the here and now, people can continue to grow and find fulfillment. Saying "it was better in my day" may be a natural response to change, but it does not have to define one's outlook. Each era has its struggles and victories, and nostalgia should not become an obstacle to growth. By embracing the present while honoring the past, individuals can foster wisdom, resilience, and a fulfilling life, not one based on regret, but on appreciation and adaptability. Part 2: 3 things you should never do. Number 1, isolate yourself. The silent danger of loneliness in old age. Loneliness is often an invisible burden carried by many older adults. While some choose solitude for reflection, prolonged isolation can have devastating effects on both mental and physical health. Studies consistently show that social isolation is one of the greatest threats to well-being in later life, increasing the risk of cognitive decline, heart disease, depression, and even premature death. Many seniors find themselves alone due to various life circumstances, losing a spouse, retirement, physical limitations, or moving away from family and friends. Initially, solitude may feel like a welcome break from the hustle of life. However, when isolation becomes a daily reality, it can lead to serious consequences. Cognitive decline. Research suggests that a lack of social interaction is linked to an increased risk of Alzheimer's disease and other forms of dementia. Social engagement keeps the brain active, helping to preserve memory and reasoning skills. Heart disease and stroke. Isolation can lead to chronic stress and high blood pressure, increasing the risk of heart disease and stroke. The lack of emotional support during stressful times can make recovery from illness or surgery more difficult. Depression and anxiety. Loneliness can create a cycle of sadness and withdrawal, leading to severe mental health challenges. Without regular social interactions, feelings of worthlessness and despair can take hold. Weakened immune system. Studies indicate that prolonged loneliness can lead to a weakened immune response, making older adults more susceptible to infections and illnesses. Breaking the cycle of isolation. Isolation does not happen overnight. It often creeps in slowly, making it important to take proactive steps before loneliness becomes a way of life. Social connection is as essential as food and water. Here's how older adults can cultivate meaningful relationships. Reconnect with family and friends. Making an effort to reach out to loved ones can be life-changing. Even small actions like sending a message, making a phone call, or scheduling regular visits can strengthen bonds. Engage in community activities. Volunteering, attending local events, or joining social clubs can provide opportunities for meaningful interactions. Many senior centers offer activities tailored to different interests, from art and music to book clubs and fitness classes. Leverage technology. If distance is a barrier, video calls, social media, and online groups can help maintain relationships. Learning to use digital tools can open doors to new friendships and knowledge. Adopt a pet. For those who live alone, a pet can provide companionship, routine, and unconditional love. Studies show that pet ownership can reduce stress, lower blood pressure, and improve overall well-being. Join faith-based or support groups. Religious and spiritual communities often offer strong support networks. Engaging in group prayers, meditation, or mindfulness gatherings can provide both social interaction and inner peace. Aging should not mean growing lonely. By taking intentional steps to stay connected, older adults can protect their health and enjoy a fulfilling, socially rich life. Isolation is a choice, but so is connection. Choosing to engage with others is choosing a healthier, happier life. Number 2, stop learning. The beginning of decline. Learning is a lifelong journey. The moment a person believes they have nothing left to learn, they begin a slow but inevitable decline. This is true not only for intellectual growth, but also for emotional and social well-being. Staying engaged with new ideas, experiences, and perspectives keeps the mind active, enhances problem-solving skills, and fosters a sense of purpose. When people stop learning, their world begins to shrink. They may become rigid in their thinking, less adaptable to change, and more prone to frustration when faced with new challenges. This stagnation can lead to boredom, lack of curiosity, and even a decline in mental health. Studies have shown that continuous learning helps prevent cognitive decline and may reduce the risk of conditions like dementia and Alzheimer's disease. Furthermore, in today's rapidly evolving world, those who resist learning new skills or adapting to new technologies may find themselves feeling disconnected. This is especially true for older adults who might struggle with modern digital tools. However, the key to staying relevant and engaged is not just in keeping up with the latest trends, but in maintaining an open and curious mindset. There are countless ways to continue learning, and the best approach depends on individual interests and lifestyle. Some effective methods include reading books and articles. Books are one of the most accessible and enriching sources of knowledge. Whether it's history, science, philosophy, or fiction, reading helps expand one's worldview. Audiobooks and online articles are also excellent alternatives for those who prefer listening over reading. Exploring new subjects. Learning does not have to be confined to formal education. One can explore new subjects through online courses, documentaries, podcasts, or workshops. For instance, taking an interest in astronomy, psychology, or ancient civilizations can open doors to fascinating insights about the world. Engaging in meaningful discussions. Conversations with others, especially those who have different perspectives, can be a powerful way to learn. Discussing ideas, debating viewpoints, and listening to different experiences foster critical thinking and empathy. Developing a new skill or hobby. Picking up a new hobby, such as playing a musical instrument, painting, or gardening, not only brings joy but also stimulates the brain. Even learning how to cook a new dish or experimenting with a new workout routine keeps the mind and body engaged. Embracing new technologies. In the digital age, technology is constantly changing the way people communicate, work, and entertain themselves. Learning how to use new apps, software, or devices can help individuals stay connected with the world. Even small efforts like understanding how to use a smartphone more effectively can make a significant difference. Learning a new language. Studies show that learning a new language improves memory, cognitive flexibility, and problem-solving abilities. It also opens doors to new cultures and ways of thinking, making life more enriching. Stopping the learning process is like putting the mind on autopilot. It may function, but it loses its sharpness, creativity, and enthusiasm. Continuous learning is not about acquiring knowledge for the sake of it, but about staying mentally agile, curious, and connected to the world. No matter one's age or background, there is always something new to explore. Keeping an open mind and embracing lifelong learning ensures not only a sharper intellect, but also a more fulfilling and meaningful life. Number 3, neglect physical health. Aging is not a reason to stop moving. It is the reason to keep moving. The body is like a machine. When left unused, it begins to rust, weaken, and lose efficiency. Many older adults mistakenly believe that physical activity is only for the young or that exercise becomes unnecessary as they age. However, the truth is the opposite. Movement is essential for maintaining strength, flexibility, and independence. A sedentary lifestyle leads to muscle loss, joint stiffness, poor balance, and an increased risk of falls. Over time, neglecting physical health can contribute to chronic conditions such as osteoporosis, heart disease, diabetes, and cognitive decline. The consequences of inactivity. 1. Loss of strength and mobility. As people age, they naturally lose muscle mass, a process called sarcopenia. However, inactivity accelerates this loss, making everyday tasks like standing up, climbing stairs, or carrying groceries more difficult. Weak muscles also contribute to poor posture and back pain, leading to discomfort and further discouraging movement. Number 2, increased risk of falls and injuries. Balance and coordination decline with age, but they can be maintained with regular activity. When older adults stop moving, their reflexes slow down and their ability to recover from a misstep diminishes. This makes falls more likely, which can result in fractures, hospitalizations, and long recovery periods. Hip fractures, in particular, are a major concern for older individuals and can lead to a loss of independence. 3. Higher risk of chronic diseases. Physical inactivity is a major risk factor for numerous health conditions, including heart disease, high blood pressure, diabetes, and obesity. Regular movement helps regulate blood sugar levels, improves circulation, and strengthens the heart. Without it, the body's systems begin to function less efficiently, increasing the likelihood of developing serious illnesses. For mental and emotional decline, exercise is not just about physical health. It also plays a crucial role in mental well-being. Regular activity releases endorphins, which help reduce stress, anxiety, and depression. It also improves cognitive function and memory, reducing the risk of dementia. Older adults who stay active often experience greater happiness, self-confidence, and a sense of purpose. The good news is that maintaining physical health does not require intense workouts or gym memberships. Even simple forms of movement can have profound benefits. Walking. Walking is one of the easiest and most effective exercises for older adults. It strengthens the legs, improves cardiovascular health, and enhances balance. A daily walk, even for 15 to 30 minutes, can significantly boost overall health. Walking outdoors also provides fresh air, sunlight, and a connection to nature, which can uplift the spirit. Stretching and flexibility exercises. Gentle stretching helps keep the joints flexible and reduces stiffness. Yoga and Tai Chi are excellent options as they improve balance, coordination, and relaxation. These activities are also low impact, making them safe and enjoyable for older individuals. Strength training. Light strength training with resistance bands, dumbbells, or even bodyweight exercises like chair squats and wall push-ups can help maintain muscle mass and prevent weakness. Strength training also supports bone density, reducing the risk of osteoporosis. Daily movement habits. Staying active does not always mean structured exercise. Simple changes, like taking the stairs instead of the elevator, gardening, playing with grandchildren, or doing household chores, can keep the body engaged and strong. Join a community or group. Exercising with others makes movement more enjoyable and provides social benefits. Community fitness classes, dance groups, or walking clubs can encourage consistency and motivation. Aging is inevitable, but physical decline is not. Movement is a form of self-care, a way to maintain independence, and a key to a longer, healthier life. The more we move, the more we can enjoy life's experiences without limitations. Part 3. 3 places you should never go. Number 1, places where you are only tolerated. Recognizing the signs and choosing better environments. Spending time in environments where you are merely tolerated rather than truly appreciated can be an exhausting and disheartening experience. Whether it's a workplace that sees you as just another employee, a friendship where you feel like an afterthought, or a family dynamic that fails to recognize your worth, being in spaces where you feel invisible or unappreciated slowly erodes your self-esteem and emotional well-being. Over time, these experiences can make you doubt your own value and drain your spirit. The good news is that you are not obligated to remain in these spaces. You have the power to seek out environments where you are genuinely valued, respected, and uplifted. The key is learning to recognize the difference between being tolerated and being truly accepted, and then making conscious choices to surround yourself with people and communities that support your growth. If you're unsure whether you are being tolerated rather than appreciated, consider the following signs. Your presence feels like an obligation. People invite you out of politeness rather than genuine interest in your company. You might notice that conversations feel forced, and there is a lack of enthusiasm when you're around. Lack of acknowledgement or appreciation. Your contributions, ideas, and presence often go unnoticed. Whether at work, in social circles, or in family gatherings, you may feel invisible or as if you don't truly matter. You constantly feel like you have to prove yourself. Instead of feeling naturally accepted, you might feel the need to work extra hard just to gain a little bit of recognition. True appreciation should not require constant effort to earn. Your energy feels drained after interactions. Being in these spaces feels exhausting rather than uplifting. Instead of leaving a conversation or event feeling fulfilled, you walk away feeling emotionally depleted. You are not included in important moments. If people consistently leave you out of important discussions, decisions, or invitations, it's a sign that they don't see you as an essential part of their circle. Your feelings and opinions are often dismissed. When you share your thoughts, they are quickly brushed aside, ignored, or met with indifference. Being in spaces where you are heard and valued is crucial for emotional well-being. Being in places where you are merely tolerated can have long-term negative effects on your self-confidence, happiness, and even your mental health. You deserve to be in relationships and communities that celebrate you for who you are, not just tolerate your presence. Instead of staying in these draining environments, make the conscious choice to seek out spaces where you are genuinely welcomed. You feel wanted and included without having to question it. Valued for who you are, your uniqueness is appreciated, and you are encouraged to be yourself. Respected and listened to. Your thoughts and feelings are acknowledged and taken seriously. Supported in growth. The people around you encourage your personal and spiritual development. How to find spaces that truly appreciate you. 1. Expand your social circles. Join communities, groups, or clubs that align with your interests and values. Whether it's a spiritual group, a hobby-related club, or a support network, finding like-minded people can be transformative. 2. Prioritize quality over quantity. It's better to have a small circle of truly supportive people than a large network where you feel unimportant. Focus on relationships that bring genuine connection. 3. Trust your intuition. If something feels off in an environment, trust that feeling. Pay attention to how you feel after interacting with certain people or spending time in particular spaces. 4. Set boundaries. If you can't completely remove yourself from certain environments, such as a job or family obligation, establish boundaries to protect your emotional energy. 5. Embrace change without fear. Leaving behind places where you are only tolerated can be difficult, but growth often requires letting go. Embrace new opportunities and trust that better spaces exist for you. You were not meant to live a life where you are merely tolerated. You deserve relationships, friendships, and environments that uplift, encourage, and value you. Don't settle for being an afterthought in places where your light is dimmed. Instead, seek out those who recognize and appreciate the unique energy and gifts you bring to the world. By making intentional choices about where you invest your time and energy, you create a life filled with more joy, fulfillment, and meaningful connections. Number 2, the mental prison of the past. The past holds a significant place in our lives, shaping our identity, beliefs, and emotional responses. It is a repository of experiences, both joyful and painful, that influence how we navigate the present. However, when we become too attached to the past, especially in a nostalgic or regretful way, it can prevent us from fully engaging with life as it unfolds. Many people fall into the trap of romanticizing the past, believing that their happiest moments are behind them. They may recall the good old days with longing, comparing them to their current reality and feeling dissatisfied. This kind of thinking creates an emotional barrier, making it difficult to appreciate what is happening now. It can also lead to a sense of disconnection, as the present moment feels dull or inadequate in comparison to cherished memories. On the other hand, some individuals dwell on painful past experiences, mistakes, losses, or betrayals, allowing these memories to define them. They replay old wounds in their minds, reliving the hurt and reinforcing negative emotions. This can lead to guilt, resentment, or a deep sense of regret, making it difficult to move forward. Holding on to past pain can also affect relationships, as unresolved emotional baggage can create trust issues or prevent genuine connections with others. The cost of living in the past, emotional stagnation. When we are overly attached to the past, we stop growing emotionally. Instead of learning from experiences, we become stuck in them, unable to evolve or adapt to new situations. Missed opportunities. By focusing too much on what was, we risk missing out on what is. Opportunities for joy, love, and personal growth are always present, but they require our attention and willingness to embrace the now. Increased anxiety and sadness. Nostalgia can sometimes bring warmth and comfort, but if it turns into a longing for something that no longer exists, it can lead to sadness, dissatisfaction, and even depression. Similarly, replaying painful memories can heighten anxiety and fear. Strained relationships. Constantly talking about the past or making comparisons can create distance between you and others. Friends and loved ones may struggle to connect with someone who is emotionally tied to experiences that they themselves were not a part of. The key to a healthy relationship with the past is to see it as a source of wisdom rather than a place of residence. Here are some ways to achieve that balance. Learn from your experiences. Instead of dwelling on regrets, ask yourself, what did this experience teach me? Every challenge, mistake, or hardship carries a lesson that can help you make better choices in the future. Practice gratitude for the present. Shift your focus from what you have lost to what you have now. Appreciate the people, experiences, and opportunities that exist in the present moment. Create new memories. The best way to move beyond the past is to actively build a fulfilling present. Engage in new hobbies, meet new people, and embrace fresh experiences. Let go with compassion. Forgive yourself and others for past mistakes. Holding on to resentment only keeps you chained to the past. Acceptance and forgiveness bring emotional freedom. Stay open to change. Life is constantly evolving, and so are you. Instead of fearing change, welcome it as an opportunity for growth and renewal. By using the past as a guide rather than an anchor, you can find joy in the present and look forward to the future with hope and excitement. Number 3, the cycle of bitterness and complaint. Holding on to resentment poisons the soul, slowly consuming a person from the inside out. Whether it is anger toward family, society, or even oneself, bitterness isolates and erodes well-being. When left unchecked, it becomes a heavy burden, shaping our thoughts, emotions, and actions in ways we may not even recognize. Bitterness often begins as a justified response to hurt or betrayal. Perhaps a loved one let us down, a friend betrayed our trust, or life itself seemed unfair. Over time, if these wounds are not healed, they harden into resentment, making it difficult to move forward. People who dwell in bitterness may replay past wrongs in their minds, reinforcing negative emotions and preventing themselves from embracing the present. This emotional weight can manifest physically as stress, anxiety, and even illness. Additionally, bitterness affects relationships. It builds walls instead of bridges, making it harder to connect with others. A bitter heart tends to expect the worst, distrust kindness, and resist love. Even those who wish to support and care for us may find it challenging to reach through the layers of unresolved pain. When bitterness takes root, it narrows our perspective, making us blind to the beauty, kindness, and possibilities still present in life. Forgiveness is not for others, it is for you. Many people hesitate to forgive because they believe it means excusing wrongdoing or pretending the pain never happened. But forgiveness is not about erasing the past. It is about releasing its hold over your present and future. It is a gift you give yourself, allowing you to reclaim your peace and emotional freedom. Letting go of past hurts does not happen overnight. It is a process that begins with acknowledging the pain, understanding its impact, and making a conscious choice to release it. This does not mean forgetting what happened or reconciling with those who hurt you. It simply means refusing to let bitterness control your life any longer. Focusing on gratitude can be a powerful antidote to bitterness. When we shift our attention from what we have lost to what we still have, the grip of resentment weakens. Practicing gratitude, even in small ways, reminds us that life offers more than just suffering. Every day presents new opportunities for joy, connection, and growth. Inner peace is another reward of choosing forgiveness over bitterness. When we let go of resentment, we create space for healing, love, and happiness. This does not mean life will be perfect, but it means we will be better equipped to face challenges with resilience and grace. Ultimately, personal growth flourishes when we release bitterness. Instead of being trapped by past pain, we can focus on becoming the best versions of ourselves. Whether through meditation, self-reflection, therapy, or meaningful conversations, taking steps toward healing opens doors to a more fulfilling life. Bitterness may feel justified, but it is a prison of our own making. The key to freedom is in our hands. We only need the courage to use it. Aging is not about counting the years. It is about making the years count. Each day is an opportunity to embrace wisdom, cultivate inner peace, and share kindness with the world. As we grow older, our experiences become valuable lessons, not just for ourselves, but for those around us. By choosing our words carefully, engaging in meaningful actions, and avoiding destructive paths, we can shape our later years into a time of wisdom, fulfillment, and peace. Living with intention and purpose means nurturing our bodies, minds, and spirits. It means practicing gratitude for the life we have lived while remaining open to the beauty of the present moment. Instead of seeing aging as a decline, we can reframe it as a time of reflection, renewal, and deeper connection with ourselves and others. The wisdom accumulated over the years can be a guiding light, illuminating the path for future generations. If this video resonated with you, please like, subscribe, and share. Let's continue spreading wisdom and mindfulness together. Your journey is not over. It is just entering a new, profound chapter. Embrace it with grace, purpose, and an open heart.